Good afternoon. Right, yeah, getting ready for Rachel's, what's it called? Stitchery, Book of Stitchery or something. Can't remember, I took the bit of paper off. Yeah, this is what I've decided to do. This is my book. It's got, I think it was about a 1.5 inch spine. Excuse the weird clips, they're on there for a reason. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the piece of work and then I'm going to stitch it to the pages, because I think working in a book when it's all stitched in is going to be quite awkward. So I thought, what I would do is just grab a piece of fabric, do the stitching, and then stitch that piece of fabric onto my pages, basically. Am I in screen? Probably not. Yeah, so that is my thinking on doing this. I've done a really thick, I don't know what it is actually. It's a really thick fabric. It's kind of like a Hessian. Well, it's not Hessian. Yeah, I don't know. Almost like sacking material, really. So let me just show you the bones of it. Hang on, because I've got magnets sticking to everything. I can feel it. Right, let me move those out of the way for a second. Right. Yeah, so I haven't stuck anything in. I haven't stitched anything in, which is why it looks a little bit odd at the moment. But I don't know if you can see, I made a spine out of this stuff called pelmet violin, which I use quite a lot. I love it. Okay, it's like a thick interfacing, basically. So yeah, it stands up on its own. That was going to be my original spine, but then I realised actually it's too small, so I upgraded the book slightly bigger. So I did the spine here, and then all I did was cut the fabric to the same size as, let me stand that there, yeah, each, so I measured 1/2 of the book, if you like, and then I just doubled it for the fabric, and I stitched each page to the spine. I hope that makes sense. I think it does. So I've got this really thick stuff here, and then I've got a thinner sort of a muslin-y type fabric, but it's still sturdy enough. It'll be fine, but you can see the stitching more on there. So all I did was literally drew the lines on the spine piece on the pelmet violin and stitched and stitched and stitched. So I think I did 8 pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, because we're only doing it for 6 months. I'm sure that's what Rachel said. So I've done 8 pages. And yeah, I'll stick it all in when I'm ready. So I've extended the spine with this fabulous ribbon. So I'm just going to, when I'm ready, I'm just going to stick the spine to the book and stick those down. Yeah, I just thought that was just the easiest way to do it. Nothing set in concrete. And as I say, what I'll do is I'll work on a separate piece of fabric and stitch that onto the pages. I think that'll be fine. That's the way I'm going to do it anyway. Could be completely wrong and I might have to change it completely. But anyway, we'll find out. So I've been making some needle keepers, because the one thing I'm terrible for is losing my needles, as my feet will testify to. So I've been making these fabric needle minders. And basically the idea is that and again, the hexagons are cut out of the same pelmet violin, and then obviously I've covered them. I'll show you the bones in a second. Let me just show you how they work. So you have the front piece and a button with the other magnet on, and then that will stick on your fabric or stay on your fabric, and you can put your needle on there, because I'm terrible for losing them, as I said. So the easy way to make these is to cut, as I say, piece of pelmet violin or something really stiff. I don't see card. I didn't want to use because I didn't think it would magnetize really well through card. You could try it with a thin card, I guess, but I've used this. So I've just used my it's downstairs, the Prim glue, fabric glue stick thingy, and just stuck them on basically. And then for the back piece, I've chosen this really thin green fabric. I really wanted to go really thin with the fabrics. I didn't want it too chunky. And I've put the magnet on. You can see that. Yeah, it says really thin ones that you can get. Let me show you. They're about, I don't even think they're 1mm. I got them off Amazon ages ago. They've lasted me for ages, these. Yeah, it's those ones. I was keep your fingers away because they snap your hand off. So they're incredibly thin. If I can get it off. Very strong, as you can tell. Right, there we are. Come off. Yep. Okay, so really thin magnets. Very strong. I want to bite my hand. I don't even know if I've got a product number that I can share with you. See, that's the other half of the label. Hang on. Anyway, search on Amazon or wherever for really thin, strong magnet or 1mm. Let me see if I can get this off, and if I can put it all together, you'll get a product number without destroying it. Right. I don't know if that'll help. You could try that D15080505. But yeah, there's the stay still. There we are. I don't know if that'll help. You might be able to find that. I don't know. But they're just thin magnets anyway. So, yes, got those. Now, I was gluing them, but the glue was seeping through. So I stopped doing that and I just crisscrossed with a thread that really wouldn't show very much on the back. Crisscrossed it, and I'm sure you can see the little back stitches around there. So I sort of did a back stitch, pulled it through here, went down and across, and then did a back stitch there and did the same, and just kept going until it stayed, which it has done. So the next job is just to stitch obviously the back to the front. Now I just did very simple blanket stitch on here. You could at that point, if you want to, incorporate a piece of lace. I found it too fiddly to try and do the back stitch and the lace. I guess you could stick the lace to, oh no, it's still going to be fiddly. I was going to say you could stick it to one of the hexagons and then just stitch them together, but you're not going to be able to do the over stitching, which is what I wanted. So I opted not to do lace anyway. And then make sure you get your magnets teamed up, that they snap together, obviously. And then I've just stuck them to the back of a vintage button with some araldite, the 2-part one that you mix together. So yeah, so there we are. And I obviously chose fabric that has got pretty images on, so this one will have that button on the back. Okay, and the button's there just to hold it in between the fabric, basically. It's just to hold it together. So I need to finish these off, obviously. So and yeah, you can see the rest. So take those off because I need to stitch them. Yeah, so that's those. The other one that I made, or ones I've made, I haven't finished them yet, is out of mini hexagons. Just undo all this. These are made with, I think they're 3/4 inch. Hold on, let me get my ruler. Half inch, right? Sorry, yeah, ½ inch, or not quite. Are they? Yeah, ½ inch hexes. What I did was I cut one out of paper, put it on the pelmet violin like that, drew around it with a pencil, moved it across, drew around it with a pencil, and just kept going. It was a bit of therapy, but you know, I've got a few now. So and then just obviously cut them out, because that's really easy to cut that stuff. So once you've done your little hexes, just find some really pretty fabric. As you can see, I've got the fronts done, I haven't finished the backs. And if you're careful when you're lining up your fabric, you can get like little designs like that in, and obviously that one's got the little roses, and that one obviously the heart in the middle. Okay, and that's what they're like when they're covered. Again, using the Prim glue pen thing. It's designed for fabric. So once you've done that and stitched them together, obviously, Okay. On the back, I covered it in felt. Now, I think the felt is too thick, but I didn't want anything that would fray, because yes, you could do that again and back to back them, which obviously would look amazing, but you're still bulking up quite a lot of fabric. I guess you could not put anything in there, I don't know, but anyway, I just backed it with felt. Now this is the one that I stuck the magnet to the back. I was going to say you can see the glue, but actually you really can't. Anyway, I stuck it to the back of this piece, so I stuck it in there with araldite again, and then just traced around that shape in onto felt, and blanket stitched the felt onto there, and then again with the magnet it just holds on there. So yeah, I'll just show you there, like that. Okay, so that can sit on your fabric, and then you've got somewhere to rest your needles. So I just thought I'd do some of those. I'll put a couple in the shop, but at the moment I need to make a decision which one I want. So that's that. That's a little bit of prep stuff I've been doing. I'm not going to do the, I don't think anyway, the practice pages. I do most of those stitches, and I don't know, do I want to do it? I'm not sure. Time is my enemy again, because I've been helping my daughter move into her new house and scrub the old house and stuff like that, and it's getting rapidly towards Christmas, and my dad's coming down, and I've got to get food, and I'm still working next week. So yeah, it's all a little bit crazy at the moment, but yeah, so that's as far as I've got. I'm not going to get a box of stuff together. I think I told you that, because on my desk here I keep tubs of random bits and bobs anyway, and I've also got a little basket full which stays with, you know, just stays in the cubby hole over there. So I've got all sorts of stuff here. I'm not going to go and get a fancy box for it all. This works. This has worked for yonks, and that's all I'm doing basically. So there's the pelmet violin that I cut the big hexes out of. So I've actually got a die for my Sizzix. I have got a die for the little one. I've lost it. That was really clever of me, I know. So yeah, so that's it really. I'm ready to go. I might do those practice pages. I have got a bit of time off over Christmas. It depends how bored I get, I guess, but I am busy sewing other stuff at the same time as doing challenges and things like that. So yeah, anyway, right, I'm gonna leave it there. Let me know if you've got any questions. They're really easy to do. You can do them out of anything, I'll be honest with you. I felt that they needed the violin just to keep them stiff, you know, so that they're not too floppy. I'm just thinking it through. I guess you could do the top out of card and then just put backing fabric and stick the magnet to the card, and then just put backing fabric on if you don't want to go to the pelmet violin. I use it a lot, so I've got a big roll of it, but yeah, they're quite cool. Anyway, that's as far as I've got. So I say that's my book. I'm just going to work on separate pieces of fabric and then stitch them in as and when I fancy. I like this design. I'm not sure, I wasn't sure about the concertina one that I think Rachel's doing. I think this was Sarah's design, wasn't it, with her sister, with the pages, which works for me. So that's it. I'm going to stop rambling, because I am rambling now, and yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.